There's two things I learned working in corporate America. The good lesson is that corporate America tends to adhere to rather strict disciplines of business. Strategic plan, execute to the plan. Clear-cut job descriptions for all their employees. So those disciplines are what allow corporate America to be as successful and as stable and to be consistently growing. The observation in the privately held business was surprisingly different. Most of them don't have a strategic plan. Most of them are simply winging it. Unfortunately, the result is a very high failure rate of startups, a lackluster growth rate of established privately held businesses, or a failure of those. I saw this, I witnessed this when I was working in corporate America, and I knew that with some simple, relatively simple insights shared with the owners, that they can dramatically change the growth rate of their business if they just adhered to a couple of these disciplines. So I set out on a crusade to change that trajectory for privately held businesses and to apply some of those lessons that I gathered from working in corporate America, simplifying them and bringing them to my small business clients and my startup clients in a way that backed by stories and real examples so that they can see and understand why it is that these things are so important. How I describe myself is I specialize in helping companies win the complex sale. So when people ask me the question, well, Mike, you sold multi-billion-dollar jet fighters to foreign governments. How is that translatable to my business? And I'll go, well, mine just was really, really complex. But the fact of the matter is the discipline that I adhered to, the sales process I adhered to, had the flexibility to adjust to major complex sales or minor complex sales. When you look at why do companies lose sales, and you boil it all down to its absolute essence, you end up with three basic words. And that is, I didn't know. So the process and methodology that I try to instill in my clients is one that eliminates that excuse. That's what makes me happy, is if I've impacted them in a way that will cause them to at least try to change. Try this new approach. Go through a strategic planning process and see what it's like to have a one-page document that defines what your company is going to look like 3 years from now, and then let that be the basis for you driving the company to that destination. When they do, it's amazing what happens.